So we're going to solve for x. So go ahead and write down that problem. We have a over x plus m over a equals c. I believe you guys did do these last year. Okay, solve for x. X is in the denominator. It's kind of a problem. The first step on these is to always cancel the fractions, all right? So we want a fraction bust. So I'm going to look at every denominator, and I'm going to multiply by the common denominator. So the common denominator is xa. So I'm going to multiply this by xa. And I'm going to multiply this by xa. And I'm going to multiply this by xa. If you want to do parentheses and show that you're multiplying the whole thing by xa, you can. I like to write it next to each term. All right. Okay, now I can cancel these x's. I have no more fractions. So now I have a squared for my first term. And now cancel these a's, and I have mx equals cxa over here. So I got rid of the fractions. All right, the next step here is I need to get all my x's on one side. Since I'm solving for x, they need to all be friends on the same side of the equation. It doesn't matter which side you put them on, but we want to move any terms that have x together and any terms that don't have x on the other side. So I'm going to move the mx to the other side, and it becomes negative, since it was positive, when I move it to the other side. Okay? And the next step is to factor out what you're trying to isolate. So I'm going to factor out the x, and that leaves me with ca minus m. Is it coming back to you guys from Algebra 1? Okay. And now we're going to divide by this whole thing here, so I can get x by itself, ca minus m, so that can cancel. And now I have my answer, and so x is going to be equal to a squared over ca minus m. So it's the same steps every time, you guys. We're always going to cancel the fractions. We're always going to get the variable we're solving for on one side. We're going to factor it out, and we're going to divide by what's left over every time. All right? So let's try another one. So go ahead and write that down. I'm going to move it over here so I have some space. So 5 over m minus ay equals p over x plus s. So Stephen, what should I multiply every term by? Very good. So if I put all these over 1, my common denominator is mx. So I'm going to multiply each term by mx. All right. So in the first term here, the m's cancel, and we're left with 5x. In the second term, nothing cancels, so we're just going to write minus a y mx. On the other side of the equation, my x's are going to cancel, and we have pm. And over here again, nothing cancels, so plus smx. Then we need to look at what are we solving for. We're solving for m. So anything that has an m needs to be on the same side of the equation, and everything else is on the other side. So Sam, which piece needs to move so all my m's can be friends? Good. So I'm going to keep the 5x over here because it doesn't have any m's. Over here, I'm going to rewrite what I have, pm plus smx. And this was a negative term, so when I move it over, it's going to be plus a y mx. Okay, and Sydney, what are we going to do next? Good. So I'm going to factor out the m, and so I'm left with p plus sx plus a y x. Okay, took the m out of every piece. And final step, divide by this whole set of parentheses. If you don't want to show it, that's fine. I can just write 5x over p plus sx plus ayx equals m. And that's my answer. I feel like we got this. You guys need another one? We got it? Want to try it? All right, let's see how this goes.